even worry. But I'm so excited. You guys, we have a big month. Put your goals in the chat. We do this every single time. Why? Because I want to be reminded of your goals, but I want you to be reminded of your goals as well. So put your goals for this month, today, this week in the chat. We have a huge month. We had a huge month last month, the month before that. We are just growing. We had so many promotions last month, and we're not stopping with last month. We are continuing on, and we are so blessed and lucky to have our CEO here with us, ready to preach to our team. And I'm so excited for it because I'm seeing so many goals and I love it. One of the things, if you guys didn't catch in the Facebook page, I went live today, and you have to go rewatch that after the Zoom. It was super short. But I was just talking about being qualified for your goals. We don't always feel qualified. And John, I'm sure you'll touch on this because you just bring us the heat. But knowing that you're qualified for all of the goals that you're putting in the chats. So before I choke on my own words, I'm just gonna hand it over to you, John, because I told you just preach to us, yell at us, whatever is gonna work. My team is ready for it. We are ready for you and all of the fire that you are going to bring us.
Well, thank you so much, Jess. It's so awesome to be on tonight. It's great to see this group. Let me just start by saying I love this team. I brag on this team constantly. I believe in this team. I believe that some of the greatest humans in our company are right here on this team. It's so great to see yeah, Addison. Just so proud of you. Just constant, consistent. It's so great. I mean, I could go just through so many people on this. Leah, just what you've done really in the last, really since, I mean, it was like conference came and you just like flipped the switch and said, I'm going to do this thing, and unbelievable. But so many of you that we've talked to that, whether it was at conference, whether it's been over the past few years. But what I'm excited about is, I was texting, well, Jess was texting me just like kind of, kind of getting ready for tonight, and just the new life that's on this team, and new people that are coming to this business. And just that's what excites me, because if you don't know our story, we joined just like you just over 10 years ago. And no, I never thought I would be sitting in the CEO seat coming from the field, but here I am, and here we are. But I think that's what drives me and Sherry Lynn more than anything is this business changed our life. Everything that we do every day, we see real faces because we were those faces, that we just needed an extra breathing room, extra little help here and there. And so just want to tell you, I love this team. I'm so proud of what you've accomplished. But I really believe, and I hope you believe, that you're just scratching the surface for what this year, what the years to come could truly hold. And you're blessed to have this community. I think that there's this kind of misnomer within It Works or the industry, that everyone has this. I want to let you know, and not everyone has this community that you have. And so make sure that you're proud of that community, that you hone into that community, that you enjoy that community. Honestly, if you ask me, what do I miss the most about being the field? It's being with our team in these settings and in these moments, and having wins together, going through life together, big promotions together, down months together, up months together, all the in-betweens. And so, we love you. We're proud of you. We believe that this team truly is the future of our company, the way you do business, the way you market business. And we're playing some catch up, when we took 2 years ago, playing some catch up to where we need to be, but we're getting there with our branding and with who we are as a company, and letting the world know that. And you're a huge part of that. And so if you haven't met me, I hope we get to meet one day face to face, and get to talk about life and what It Works has done in your life. And maybe you're just getting started and you're like, I don't even know how I found this crazy business. That's okay. We all kind of were there at some point in our journey. And so I'm just glad that you're on tonight. And Jess just kind of turned it over to me and said, hey, speak life into our team. And I'll try not to yell at you a whole lot, but I'll always be honest with you, and kind of tell you what I would be doing if I was in your spot right now. Right. So we have 8 days. 8 days is a long time in this business. I don't think all of us realize what can really be accomplished in 8 days. I can tell you this, that for the 8 days that are left, you will have some promotion, something to talk about for 7 of those 8 days that are coming up. And so we're not going to just sit around and see what happens at the end of March. March is March Madness. It's the time historically. March, April, May are our three biggest months of the year, and we have a lot of really cool stuff coming down the line that we'll talk about at the end of the Zoom. But really, let's focus on today. Let's focus on the next 8 days. What are your goals? What are you wanting to accomplish? I think you put those in the chat. Have you put a number on what it takes to those goals? I know Jess did. I know she told me how many trios that they need to, you guys need to hit for this team to go prez. But it's a time where really magic happens in March. And I've seen it literally since I've been in this business for, over 10 years. It's the time where that crazy volume can come in at the end of the month. It's the time that promotions can happen that you never saw that could happen. And maybe you're on here and you have yet to hit Ruby, yet to hit Emerald. I just challenge you, just go all in next 8 days and see what can happen. Like grab those bonuses. They're not always there. When they are, it's fun and it's exciting. But what we found is that more importantly than the bonuses is that we found that it brings life to our team. That it changes the way we think about our business. It changes the way the belief system within our team when you set a goal that is kind of a stretch goal and then all of a sudden you hit it. And what I want to talk to you about tonight before we get into the kind of business part of what's coming with It Works is I want to talk to you about passion versus action. Okay, passion versus action, and I believe that you truly have to have both, right? Like if you really think about anything that matters in life, it always starts with being passionate about something. Passion is powerful, but action is transformative. Passion is really, if you think about it, it's the fuel. It's the fuel, um, but action is the engine that drives change. And you can be deeply passionate about something, but without action, passion just remains a feeling. And last time I checked, feelings don't get us very far in life, right? There's days in my life that I feel really good about things. There's days I feel really bad about things, and they're probably about equal at times. And what you will find is that passion is important because people follow someone with passion, but passion that is only passion, it can go away very quickly. Like when I think about passion, I think about a fire, right? Passion would be the spark, right? Like passion is that spark that starts a fire. But listen, it's not passion that creates a fire and maintains a fire. It's passion that starts a fire. But it's actually the action after that spark that actually creates a fire. And when you think about this business, that's what it is. It's like if you really think about, like, our goal is 1 million lives as a company this year. Our goal is to change lives together. That's what we do. In order for that to happen, you have to have a lot of people who are providing warmth to the world, light to the world, hope to the world. And last time I checked, if I haven't gone camping in a really long time, but a spark never kept anyone warm. A spark never gave anyone sustainable light. A spark was something that you needed to get it started, but has to have a fire that comes after it. And in this business, that's really what I see. You go to an event, you get the spark, right? You get on a Zoom, you get a spark. You get on a Monday Motivation, you hear a story, you get a spark. The things that give me like life is when I hear stories in the field of, hey, I joined and this, I was able to pay this debt off. I was able to come home. Those are sparks for me. But in order for a fire to be built, it all comes after the spark and it all comes after the passion. And what does that look like? A spark starts the fire, but then it's one piece of wood at a time. It's one more PM. It's one more DT. It's one more Zoom. It's one more phone call. It's one more reaching out to this teammate or that teammate. It's one more, you've got this from somebody. It's just day after day consistency. And a lot of times what can happen in this business is that we have passion, people follow passion, but as leaders, it's hard to maintain a fire. It is hard to maintain a fire on your own because you can only do so much as one person. But when you start bringing in a team and rallying together and having a common cause and a common goal and a common purpose, that is how the fire grows. That's how momentum moves you forward. And that's what I would challenge this team for. I would challenge you that I know there's some key players on this team that you are consistent. You show up day in and day out. You do the things you need to do to grow your business. But then I think there's some of us that are in this Zoom that we do it too, but maybe we don't feel like we could ever do what a Jess could do, an Addison could do, whoever you look up to. Maybe it's a sideline, and you have the self-doubt of like, can I ever really build a fire for myself, for my team? I'm here to tell you, you absolutely can. It just starts with a decision. You have passion, you have a spark, but who are those key players within your team that you're partnering with day in and day out and say, hey, this is what we have to accomplish this week. This is what we have to accomplish by the end of the month. Let's do this together. Set a goal. How many, I don't know, PM bonuses do you want? What bonus do you want to hit? But you do it together. And I think one of the biggest mistakes we made in this business is that we tried to drag people along with us that didn't want it for themselves. And we did it for too long. And that's really draining and it's really exhausting. And some of you, you've got to make a decision. You've got to look at your team, look at where you want to go, what you want to accomplish, and you have to make a decision in your own mind of who is ready to do something for the next 8 days and who is ready to make a difference in a lot of people's lives. And if you don't know our story, we went ambassador or Sherry Lynn went ambassador, let's say it like that. And then we went ambassador 2.0. And then we actually took my account ambassador as well. We went ambassador 3 times in this company. We went to the top each time over and over and over again. And what was the difference between the first, the second, and the third time? Really, it was just a growth process along the way and finding who wanted to accomplish something great with us. When I look at this team, I don't just see like one presidential. I don't just see like you are an ambassador team. I see multiple triples, multiple presidentials, multiple ambassadors. But the question is, do you really even believe it? Like, do you believe it for yourself? Do you really believe that you can actually do it? Because I can tell you this, if you don't believe you can accomplish whatever it is, let's call it diamond, let's call it double, let's call it triple, whatever it is, you are hindering your team's growth underneath you. Like, regardless or not, you have stepped into a position where people are looking at you and saying, what's Lacey going to do? What's Abby going to do? Right? What's Mackenzie going to do? Well, how they are looking at you each and every day, and you have to make a choice. Do I believe in myself that I can lead this team, my team, the ones who joined with me? Like, as cool as it is, like, our uplines, they left, they went to another company, but, we would look at, Stacy and Stacy Alcala, we would look at Kelly Brown, we would look at Tessie Carter, we would look at, all these people in our organization, and I would look them in the eye, whether it was in person or in Zoom, and say, listen, none of these people joined John and Sherry Lynn. They joined you. So you're going to have to step up. You're going to have to be that ambassador. You're going to have to be that presidential. And you know what? In those coming months, guess what happened? They became presidential. They became ambassador. But something had to shift inside of them that said, yes, we do this business together, but the people who join me are looking at me. Who are the people right now with 8 days left that there is potential there, that there is life there, that there is hunger there, that they want to do something special? Are you partnering with them right now to accomplish something great in the next 8 days? That's what I would be doing if I were you. Some of you on this team, let me just this is where we just speak very honestly. Like, it's March Madness, right? Like, there's games going on. Like, Sherry Lynn's mad at me half the time because I'm not paying attention. Like, I have 4 games on at the same time on mute so I don't get in trouble because there's a lot going on in the house. And I'm watching all these games. But I think about any national championship, any Super Bowl, any big game, and I think about this all the time. And I think about it really in the seat that I sit in with this company. I'm about to go to this this conference this coming week. It's in Irving with all the major direct selling companies. And quite frankly, it's like a bunch of old people and it's not a whole lot of fun, but here we are. Right. So, uh, but I think about all the things that are going on right now, and the opportunity that we have. And I think about, at the end of March Madness, there's going to be one championship game. And there's going to probably be, I don't know, let's call it 20, 30,000 people in the stands. I don't know, 50,000. I don't know how many it holds, but like the Super Bowl, let's play that one for a second. There 100,000 people in the stands, right? And the thing that always blows my mind is that if you look at the people in the stands, man, they are passionate. They are like all in. They are loud. They are obnoxious. They are all in for their team. When their team scores, they go crazy. When their team gets scored on, they're on the verge of a mental breakdown and all the emotions through every game. And I think about this all the time in this business is that when you look at how many people are in our company, how many people are in this type of business, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands each and every day are in the stands and they're passionate. But when it really comes down to it, like let's just use basketball for a second, it will be anywhere from 10 to 15 players that actually determine the outcome of the national championship. Hundreds of thousands are invested, watching, passionate, but the ones who are actually matter in making a difference are a small amount of people in that stadium on that day. And I always laugh when I relate it to this business because there's going to be people all the times in the stands, right? They are going to be some you're going to love. Like, I don't know if you've ever been to like a really big game. One of my favorite, biggest games I was ever at was Mexico was playing El Salvador in soccer, and it was at Cowboy Stadium, and there was 100,000 fans there. About 95,000 were Mexican fans, and 5,000 were like El Salvador. I didn't know they hated each other. I just put on a Mexico jersey. I'm Spaniard, by the way, but I was just like, I was all in. I was like, Viva Mexico. I'm not getting killed at this game. And, it was crazy. It was like something I had never seen before. There were like beer bottles flying over my head. They were folding like paper airplanes and sending them from the top deck all the way down to the field. And I will never forget the energy in that moment. And in front of me, there were amazing fans. We were high-fiving when good things would happen. And behind me, there were El Salvadorian fans. They were annoying. And let's be honest, in this business, you're going to have a lot of people to the left and right of you that you love. You're going to have some that are very frustrating. You're going to have like every part of the spectrum in this business. But my challenge to you is what Jess kind of beat me to in the punch is, are you going to be in the stands being passionate and yelling and being excited? Or are you actually going to be one of the very, very few that actually matter in moving the needle for your team and your business? And that's my charge to you, is that the potential that's on this team, you are too good to be in the crowd. I would go even a step further to say you are too good to be on the bench. Honestly, I was one of those competitors that I would rather be a full-on spectator than be like on the bench watching one of my teammates ahead of me, because I was like, the bench was the worst place in the world. And I challenge each and every one of you. Are you a spectator right now? Are you on the bench right now? Or are you on the court right now? Because I would say that this team, if you will make a decision together in the last 8 days of the month, you could do some crazy stuff the last 8 days of this month. You could see promotions, you could pick up more bonuses, more PM bonuses, all those things. It's okay to be passionate. Fans are passionate. But at some point, you got to say, you know what? I'm not a fan. I am a player on the court, and I'm going to take action. The other thing I love too about that analogy is that fans have to pay to watch the game. Players get paid to be in the game. And when I think about this business, you say, John, how are the top 3%, how are they so strong? How are they so good? How are the top 10 making blank? How are the top 50 making blank? It's really they just at some point they decided I'm not just going to be another person in this world. Like I'm not just going to float through life. Some of them just got sick of being broke. When I think of, some of the stories of our top 10, like standing in food lines, they got sick of standing in food lines. Like when I think about me and Sherry Lynn, we got sick of telling our daughter, no, we can't put you in dance class. Like that's what it came down to. It wasn't anything like yes, we had college degrees and we had, we did what the world said that you could do. It still didn't give us freedom. It still didn't like get us, to where we wanted to be. We just got tired of being where we're at. And some of you may just need to get a little bit mad at where you're at and say, I'm willing to do a little bit more from now to the end of the month to give myself a little breathing room the next month. And I don't know where you're at. You could, y'all are, I would assume most of y'all are significantly younger than me. But what I will tell you is that whether it's freedom of time, whether it's not having to go into a job, whether it's not having to answer to a boss, whether it's paying off school debt, I don't know where you're at, but I'm just saying that you've got to make a decision at some point. Will I kind of just coast through life, or will I use this vehicle that is a mind-blowing vehicle to do something powerful with my life? And when I live my life, I know that the word says that Jesus came that we may have life and we would have it more abundantly. Like I want a more abundant life. Like I don't want to live an average life. I'm not always going to be right. I'm not always going to do good. I'm not always going to feel like I'm winning. I'm not always going to feel like I'm on the top of the world. I sure don't feel like that every day with what I'm doing now, but I can tell you that that's what he placed me on this earth to do, is not to float through life and not make an impact. And there's that calling on your life too. It's just you got to win your world while I win my world, right? And if we will all win the world that the Lord has put us in, that's how we change the world together. Like when I think about our company and I think about this team that's literally spread all around the United States. When I think about the company that's in 19 countries, we have the power to make a global impact, but it's all one-on-one saying, this is what I want for my life. This is what I want for my business. This is what I want for my family. This is what I'm called to do in this season of my life. And being okay that, guess what? Everyone who says yes to you, they may get in here and they may choose not to. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Our goal is to find out who this vehicle, we call it works, is specifically for in this season of time. Our goal was always, God, bring them in. And if they choose to go out, I pray that they're better when they leave than when they came. And we that was our mindset. That was our goal. That's what we wanted each and every day over the 9.5 years that we were in the field, just like you. And so I say all that to really challenge you to say this team is too good to be in the stands. This team is too good to even be on the team, but on the bench. You are called to make an impact with your team each and every day. And that's what I really challenge you to do. I talked little bit at conference, and it's kind of one of the things that just I always come back to is that, it really is action that just separates the dreamers from the doers. Like that's what it is. There's dreamers are everywhere, man. And I love dreamers. They inspire me. Sometimes I feel like even at this moment in my life, I don't dream big enough for my family and for what the Lord has, uh, called us to do in our lives. But the ones that I admire are the dreamers that put action behind it. And I think that you say, John, what is the difference between the cream of the crop in this company and everyone else? What is the difference between the people on the court and the people watching? It simply comes down to constant action day after day. Action when no one's watching you, action when no one sees it, action when you're not being applauded. Action. I tell you what, we had to learn early in our business that we do not do this business for, at that time for coach, for, corporate, for recognition, for the stage. We were doing it for our team and our family. And when we had that mindset, something shifted in us that, you would think we should know that do everything as unto the Lord and do it to the best of your ability. But it's so easy to forget in this business because there's a lot of people involved, right? And that's what I would challenge you to do is start putting action that no one else sees. When you see the athletes, when you see high achievers that are changing the world and whatever it is, they're putting in action while no one else sees it, no one else understands it, and that's what we did in the field. Is that we put in the time, we were disciplined, we talked. I don't know how many of you are there yet, but when we were going for a big promotion, we told our kids, hey, mommy and daddy's lives are going to change for a month, but we're going to celebrate huge at the end of that month. What did that mean? We were going for a big stinking bonus, right? And life was going to change for a season and we were going to go hard. And, I don't know where all the ranks are on here. I do know where Jess and Addison and Leah are. But, triple and above, I just kind of like just said they were doubled again. So, like, if that's you, stinking go for it, right? Like, go all the way. The rest of you, diamond, double, ruby, emerald, just get the stinking bonuses. Just do it. Just worst case, go for it. Worst case, go for it. Best case, it happens. I mean, I'm just telling you, like, it's crazy when you set your mind to something and you go and you rally your team and you do what you need to do. Listen, please don't do this to me. We have 2 days left. Please don't wait till the 25th and then get to work. Like you got gummies. Does that end tonight? Okay. Well, it doesn't. You have till tomorrow. Okay. So we'll announce that tonight. So don't go, telling people. So you have till tomorrow. And then we're going to have 1 day off on Tuesday. I'm telling you too much. And then there will be something for the rest of the month. All right. So I'm telling you, I love this team. So, Jess, you're not, see, this is what I'm doing. I'm beating Jess to trying to pry things out of me. I'm just going to tell stuff and then I don't have to get harassed verbally. I get that enough from my wife, so I don't need Jess doing that too. Addison and Leah are way nicer, but so you're gonna get gummies tomorrow. We're gonna make sure that you're enrolling to that. We're gonna have 1 day off. And did you guys know? Just hint that it's the 1 year anniversary for Burn this month. Oh, you did. Good. I didn't know that until about 4 weeks ago. So we're gonna have something fun there, and then we're gonna have an awesome promotion at the end of the month. So I'm just telling you guys, there's no reason to wait. Like there's really not. It actually gives me, I'm 41. I feel like I'm 71, and you guys give me a heart attack half the time because it's like the 25th, and then everyone shows up. But don't give me a heart attack. That's where we're going the end of March. And so I'll finish with where we're going as a company here in a second. But number one, passion's good, action's transformative. Number two, this team is too good to be watching or to be sitting. You are a team that's called to change the world. Own it. Own it. Like it's so much better to just own it. Like it's so much better to realize you're more than just someone who sells product on social media. You are more than, just, whatever you think your limitation is in your own mind. And the Lord has something so great for each and every one of you, but it's going to take just another step of faith, another just like, I'm going no matter what. I can't tell you how many times in this business we felt there was no way it was going to happen, but we said, we're just going to go for it and just see what happens. And the Lord just kind of did it. And that's what I challenge you to do is don't leave anything on the table from now to the end of March. Be on the field, take action. And I think I had one more note here. Oh yeah, I had one little quote that passion without action is just wasted potential. Passion without action is just wasted potential. The potential that you have inside of you is so great. It's greater than what you even imagine. I think most of the time our leaders see it even when we don't. But I'm just telling you, like, don't waste potential. Don't waste your potential. Like, rally together, celebrate together, game plan together, know where you're going, be specific in those things, and just and make it happen towards the end of the month. Jess, I'll stop there just for a second. If you want me to expand on anything or you want to add anything, and then we'll go into, what we're looking at over the next, call it, month or so. I'll give as much as I can without giving too much. So,
Yeah, that's so good. I'm loving all of this. Put a one in the chat if you're like on fire, right? You have that spark. And it's going to take that action after this Zoom day after day after day. And you kind of touched on it too. But I think a lot of times we have fear. I know that when I joined this opportunity, it was fear like, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know like how to do these things, or I don't know how to lead, or I'm new, or all of those things. So maybe just touch on that, because it goes hand in hand with everything you're saying. Sometimes action, we have the passion and the action is lacking because we just have that fear. And I know that you'll give us those words of wisdom, because I know there's so many times in your and Sherry Lynn's business, and I mean even stepping into the corporate side, where there's probably a lot of fear, and how you overcame that, and just really good wisdom for our girls who are maybe like, okay, I want to be on the court. I don't want to be on the bench. I don't want to be in the stands. I want to be on the
right.
court. Put a two in the chat if you want to be on the court.
Mhm.
So maybe some of those girls who are struggling with like that fear of the honestly the unknown. We probably don't even know what we're fearful of, but it
Mhm.
almost stops us in our tracks.
Yeah. So there's a couple things that come to mind. One is what I talked about at conference, right? Is, the African gazelle can jump. I don't even remember the numbers now. 35 feet far, and I think it's like 12 feet high. Yet in a zoo, they're kept in a cage where the fence it's literally not even a cage, it's a fence that is only 3 to 4 feet tall. And the reason why the gazelle won't just jump out is because they can't see where they're going to land. If they can't see where they're going to land, they won't jump. And I think that that has been probably the story of me and Sherry Lynn's life. And it's probably the story or the struggle with each and every one of you on this Zoom, is that a lot of times in life, we're like, hey, I'm willing to take the leap. I'm willing to jump. I'm willing to go, but I want like kind of this assurance that I'm going to land in the right spot, right? Like, I think that's human nature. I think that's what we would all like. But I can promise you this, and I can tell you this, in my entire life. Let's go back to when I was on Wall Street. Okay. I was, let's see, I was 23 years old and I got a job on Wall Street. And I was basically getting Starbucks and making copies for 6 traders on a trading desk. And I will never forget the day 2 traders made 7-figure errors. And the way that Wall Street works is they don't slap you on the hand, they just mail you your things. So 2 traders just got ushered off the desk in one day. And my boss pulls me into an office and says, John, you're taking one of the seats. And I obviously won't say the word, but I'll tell you what he said. He said, don't F it up for 12 months. That was his motivation for me. I was like, all right, sweet. Um, Scariest moment of my life. Never stepped into that. Honestly, never had traded a stock at that point. I had an option. Do I rise to the level or do I retreat? Uh, I just said, Lord, if I wasn't supposed to do this, you wouldn't have brought me here. So what did I do for 12 months? My goal, and I literally wrote it on my mirror in dry erase marker, his quote, don't F it up for 12 months, but I just put F. I don't like that word so much. But I wrote it on my dry erase or on my mirror. And for 12 months, that was my goal. 10 years later, I'm running the desk. Okay. Like 45 billion dollars in assets. What if I would have just retreated at that moment in my life? You don't think fear was there, was present? And then you come to 2022, the end of 21, November, Mark Pentecost calling me and saying, hey, Things aren't going as the way that I want them to go at this company. I want you to step in and be a CEO coming off Wall Street. You don't think there was fear? Like, let's have honest conversation. I probably shouldn't even admit this. I should act like I'm an invincible CEO that knows that, I had it from day one. No, there was fear there. Definitely fear there. Every time we went after a promotion, me and Sherry Lynn in this business, there was fear there. Every time to diamond, all three times to diamond, all three times to double, all three times to triple, all three times to presidential, all three times to ambassador. I can remember when we were number 2 in the company and we got to go on stage and we were so pumped. And I stepped off the stage and the first thing that came into my mind was fear. Oh my God, what if we drop? We're going to have to own that next year if we don't maintain. What am I trying to tell you? I'm trying to tell you, number one, is it doesn't matter if you are going to college and taking a test, or God is calling you into a season in your life that is unknown, or you are doing something for the first time. Fear is always going to be there. You can't avoid it. You can't escape it. So you could say, John, I'm scared. Okay, I always just take myself to this question. What is the worst thing that can happen? Like, that's literally how I justify most of my life when fear comes into my life. What's the worst thing that can happen? When I was on Wall Street, what's the worst thing that happened? I never traded a stock in my life and I make an error and I get fired. I probably should. Like, I never traded a stock in my life. The worst thing that can happen is I get fired and I have to go find another job. I step into the CEO role. What's the worst thing that can happen? I come in here and I fall flat on my face. Is that embarrassing? Yes. But did God call me to do it? Yes. So guess what? If God calls you, he's not going to set you up to just fail. If you're brought a situation that you never saw coming and it feels right in your heart and mind, the worst thing that can happen is you face your fear, and you're either going to conquer it or learn from it. Everything in my life with that fear has been there. I've either conquered it or I've learned from it. It has never destroyed me. And so when you're going after something in this business, when you're called to do so, when you're called to change lives, when you're called to bring other people on your team and lift them up, what's the worst thing that can happen? You gain a community. Ooh, that's scary. Right? Like, you don't hit a goal. Okay, we missed a lot of goals in our business. What did we do? We just changed the date on when we would hit the goal. Like, we just erased the date and we put a new date. And so fear is it's just something that, when you learn that it doesn't matter what you do, your first time, if you have a kid, how scared were you when you brought that baby home for the first time? I can remember, is anyone old enough to have a kid on here? Okay, good. I'm like, maybe this is a horrible analogy right now. I can remember when we had Jocelyn, who's now 13 and almost as tall as me, which is very embarrassing. But I can remember bringing her, putting her in the car for the first time. I had never in my life been scared to drive a car until that baby was in the car with me. Right? Like, it doesn't matter if you're driving your baby home for the first time, you're stepping into a new business, you're stepping into a job, you're stepping into a new relationship with a boyfriend, you're stepping into engagement, you're stepping into marriage. Fear is always there. What I'm saying is enjoy it. Enjoy the fear. Fear are moments of growth. Fear are moments of making you stronger. Fear are moments of a test of saying, man, can I really take on this thing? As fearful as it was, whether it was in Wall Street or taking over the CEO part of this job, I kind of thrived in it because I said to myself, this is a moment where I get to see what John Alcala is made of. Am I going to face it, or am I going to fall backwards? Am I going to learn, or am I going to let this thing dominate me? And every day, I'll be honest with you, I have to take myself there. I got to get better today. I'm going to face this fear. I'm going to have this tough conversation. I'm going to step out in faith here. I'm going to make this bold move. We're going to make this change here. And each and every day, you just learn to love being in a place of fear, because in that place of fear, there is growth happening. You don't love the fear, it's uncomfortable, but you love the fact of how much better you are going to be when that fear is either overcome or you learn some things and you move forward. But in this business, there is no fear that should paralyze you from where you want to go. That was the beauty of this business in the first place. Like, I'm scared to ask someone to join this business. Okay, what's the worst thing that can happen for them? They pay, $99. They get over $99 back in product and they quit. They still came out ahead. To me, that's not very scary, right? Like it doesn't matter what you do in life, fear is going to be there, but I just challenge you, face it and then thrive in it. Just realize that it's a moment the Lord wants to grow you, wants to shape you, wants to change you, wants to prepare you to be a person that you need to be for the future. All of you, it's just preparation for who you need to be next year for your team, next 2 years for your team, next 5 years for your team. It's preparing you for whatever, is being a better leader, being a better friend, being a better spouse, being a better, sister, whatever it is, it's all preparation. So when fear comes, understand that's normal, but then find a way to be grateful that fear is there, because typically when fear is there, it's because something good is happening in your life. Something is growing you, something is making you better. So that's what I would probably say about fear, Jess.
So good. Now I know you have to do the Sunday night live call, so you can go ahead and hit us with some secrets for April.
Okay, so what I would tell you is this, is I already gave you the end game for March, right? We're gonna go out there, we're just gonna crush the end of March. We're gonna hit goals that we need to hit. But April 2nd, mark your calendar. Typically we have the kickoff call on the 1st. April 2nd is going to be kind of like a kickoff call, like on steroids. We have about 6 or 7 announcements, I think, at this point, that are almost like semi-conference worthy announcements. And we have a new product coming to the US. You're going to see, I don't know if you've seen some of the drip that started to happen. It's just going to ramp up even more. I think this group's going to be super excited for the product that's coming. And it's a product that it has 3 ingredients that have clinically proven studies on them. I think they've dripped that it's anti-aging, which is super exciting. The flavor of it is unbelievable. It's the branding of it is unlike anything we've done. It works before. We've worked really hard on making our company look very Florida. This is going to be a standalone product that doesn't look kind of like anything that we've done up to this point. And some of the claims on this product are unbelievable. There's studies that show that this one ingredient in it reverses aging by up to 2 years, which is kind of crazy. And we can actually say that, which is insane. And this ingredient that I'm referring to, we are the only company in the United States that has even used this ingredient. There's one other company in Asia, sorry, not one other company, one other product in Asia that even has used this ingredient. So it's a first to market product. It's to me, it's going to be so fun. It's going to give you an angle that you haven't had in a long time in non-weight loss season, which I'm super excited about. A lot of you on this Zoom, I don't know how to say this the right way. You don't need to lose weight. That's why we focus on gut health a lot. But anti-aging is a real thing. I know that because of the Botox bill I see from my wife. And I think that it's going to be an amazing, amazing product that gets us into an area that we haven't really tried to get in. There's a big difference between true anti-aging and skincare. And this product's I think it's gonna be really special for you guys to be able to talk about. So that'll be announced on April 2nd. We have some awesome comp plan changes coming on April 2nd. If you're a VIP and you were on that call, put in the chat if you're excited about that. I'm a believer in data. I'm a believer in, anyone who touches my money, they better be right, and I learned that from Wall Street. But when we make these changes in commission, it's going to be a win for every one of you. And it's going to enable you to have more control over your business outside of Quick Start, which I'm really, really excited about. So that's coming. We're going to have some app updates. And then I'm trying to think. We have one huge announcement that none of you will see coming. And I'm not going to tell you any more about that, but it's going to be around green carpet and what we're doing there. And so that's going to be really exciting as well. And a few other things that I'll just leave on the table, but you will not want to miss April 2nd. So what is my point? My point is April 2nd is going to be amazing. Like it's going to be really cool, but we have 8 days. And what I don't want you to do is getting to April 2nd, wishing that you would have finished March 31st the way that you need to finish March 31st. If we will take care of business in March, uh, April 2nd is going to be an awesome day, and it's going to be super exciting for each and every one of you, for the company. And then we go. I think April has the potential to be bigger than March. I saw some of your checks from February, or February check. And holy moly, the lifts from January to February. Don't ride that out. March should be way bigger than February, and honestly, April should blow March away if we do our job. And that's what I want. I know it's not all about money. Obviously, we're wanting to change a million lives, and it is about changing lives. But I truly, I, I want our income earners to be like, holy crud, I can't believe that just happened. And I think if we do our part, um, in March, that will happen. But I think if you are running into March and ending March strong, come April, you have the ability to do something kind of insane in April as well. And then May is always a huge month for the company. So it works it's a special place because of you, because of our distributors, because of the fact that it truly is about just helping people. And as long as we keep that the mission at the forefront, I believe the Lord's going to bless that. And I believe he's going to bless what we put our hands to, as long as our hearts are right. And I hope that each and every one of you choose to be a part of it. And it's a blessing to be able to do this with you. And so for me and Sherry Lynn, Joey Stacy, the entire team, we're looking at this team and saying this is going to be a team that launches this company on another run, and we want to do it with you. And so excited for what the future holds, and excited to celebrate with this team and so many of you on April 1st, what you accomplish from now to the end of the month. But I know if you're on the East Coast, it's getting a little bit late over there, but do not wait any longer for March. Just go, see what you can accomplish, and great things will happen. So we have the call here in 11 minutes. So hopefully I will see all of you on that. And Jess, we'll do this again soon. And y'all have a great night.
When we're a presidential team, you'll do it
That's right.
again. Thank
Let's
you
do
so
it.
much. He just gave us permission, you guys. Let's run. Bye, guys.